Hello and welcome to my keto kitchen. I'm Victoria and today I'm going to show you how to make two different kinds of pizzas. The first one is a fluffy stuffed crust pizza and the second one is a thin crust pizza that is not going to rise. And I would consider that like cardboard pizza, but some of my family members love that thin, I kind of do too actually, that thin crust pizza. So I need to show you both sides of the spectrum. I'm going to show you a super fluffy, that was my oven. I'm going to show you a super fluffy recipe and then I'm going to show you a super thin recipe. But the special thing about it, one thing will change and make the difference between a fluffy pizza and a thin crust pizza. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with my fluffy stuffed crust pizza. For the yeast mixture, you need 1 cup of 110 degrees water with half of a tablespoon of active dry yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar. I've let it set aside for about 10 minutes. This is what we're starting with. Okay, and the next thing that we need is 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using avocado oil. I started getting this at Costco and I really like it. The next thing is our flour. Now this is my revised version of my new standard keto flour. This is the almond flour option. This right here is 2.5 cups. And this is 210 grams. So this is going on top. You need about 1 teaspoon of your favorite seasoning. I have a daughter who has an allergy, a very low allergy to garlic, so I have to be very careful with what I use. So I'm just throwing in 1 teaspoon of seasoning that I know is safe for her, but use whatever you want in your pizza. Now, what is going to make this our fluffy stuffed crust pizza is 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now I'm going to sprinkle this on top and now we're going to mix it. I am putting a piece of parchment paper down and I am going to flour the surface at least a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take the pizza dough, I'm going to sit it right in the center. I'm going to take another piece of parchment paper, put it right on top, and press it down. A rolling pin, I'm going to roll this into a circle the best that I can. Let's see what I can do. What? I actually separated it by causing wrinkles. Look at this. I caused wrinkles in the parchment paper, caused it to come apart. I would do something like that. So I have to lift it and I have to put it back together. Which is nice. This dough is actually really easy to work with. So if this happens to you, I'm sorry. Do as I say, not as I do sometimes. There we go. So, okay. Let me roll this again. Oh, okay. Now, I'm actually going to take my hands. I'm going to do my best to try and make a circle. If it was just me and I wasn't making a video, I don't think I would care, but because you're here with me, I'm going to try and make a circle. Best that I can. There we go. We got a circle. Now, I have mozzarella sticks. I cut them in half because 1 is just too large. So, I am going to put these around about 1/2 inch inside the dough. I didn't know how many I would need, so I actually cut 4 in half. But I think I only need 3 cut in half, so let's try this. Fold it over. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually getting over strep pneumonia, something. Had it for like 6 weeks. Finally finished a round of antibiotics and steroids because it would not go away. All right, here we go. This is the most crooked looking circle I've ever seen, but it's gonna taste so good. All right, this right here is our stuffed crust fluffy pizza. I'm gonna put this on my cookie sheet. Pizza number 1. So this is going into my oven at 350 degrees for 15 minutes. I am pre-baking my pizzas. They taste better that way. It works out better that way. This one is going into the oven 15 to 20 minutes, 350, while I make the thin crust. Okay, same exact process. Step 1. 1 cup of 110 degrees water, half a tablespoon of active dry yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar. It's been setting more than 10 minutes now. Next, 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using avocado. This is 2.5 cups of my revised new standard keto flour, the almond flour version. This is 210 grams. And remember, 1 teaspoon of whatever seasoning you like. Now I'm going to mix it up. Now, the difference in this dough and the fluffy one is there is no baking powder, okay? We don't want a rise because we want it thin. Once again, I have floured the surface here. I'm going to set it right in the center. Okay. Sometimes I just forget how well this works. This is a cast iron skillet, and I'm going to use it to press down before I use my pizza roller. Nice. Perfect. Definitely recommend that. Can someone please send help? I'm having a lot of trouble getting a circle. At this point, I have to cheat because I cannot make a circle. Cannot make like a nice circle, like a circle. Don't tell anyone that I can't make a circle. Nobody has to know. Okay, here we have our thin crust pizza. The fluffy stuffed crust is not done, but as soon as it's done, this is also going into the oven 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And I'll be right back with both pizzas once they are pre-baked. Check this one out. Can you see? I'll bring you close. I gotta show you. This thing rose a lot. This is super fluffy. Also, as you can see, my cheese is coming out, but from the side, it is pretty fluffy. That inside is super high. I have Rayo's homemade pizza sauce, marinara sauce. We're gonna go with that. Okay, so while the other pizza, the thin crust pizza, is baking, I'm going to go ahead and make this one. So I'm going to put half of a cup of sauce. And remember, I have 4 children, and they are cheese and pepperoni all day, and that's it. So that's what we're gonna do, because this will be dinner. I'm going to do mozzarella, of course. Now, this only baked for 15 minutes. They only need 15 minutes. And some pepperoni. Done. Now, as soon as this pizza has baked, I'm going to dress it. This one is then going into the oven at 375 for another 15 minutes. As far as carbs, this is what I want to let you know. I use the almond flour, new standard keto flour, the revised version. That is 7 carbs per pizza, 7 net carbs per pizza if you use the almond flour. However, if you use the pecan flour of the revised new standard keto flour, then the carbs are only 2 per pizza, okay? 2 net carbs per pizza. So that's the carbs. I'm not breaking down any more macros because you can use your own spaghetti sauce, or you can use your own pizza sauce, use your own cheese, your own dress, whatever, dress it how you like it. That's up to you. You'll have to add and take away those carbs. However, as far as the dough, if you're using the almond flour, it's 7 net carbs per pizza. If you're using the pecan flour, it's only 2 net carbs per pizza. Okay, something totally extra that I just want to do. This is simply melted butter. And I am going to brush melted butter along the sides of the dough. I think it's going to give it a nice brown, or at least brown a little bit. And it's going to make the crust extra good. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I might actually butter the bottom of the thin crust, or I might just butter the top and then add this. I don't know. Thinking out loud right now. So, almost ready to put this in the oven. Okay, and this is our thin crust. This did have a few bubbles in it, so if you want to poke it with a fork, that would be fine. I'm going to take my butter and I'm going to do it just around the edges. Okay, I will be back with both pizzas. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the close-up. Right here we have the stuffed crust, fluffy pizza. I got my piece, I cut it out, okay, and here we have the thin crust pizza, and right here is definitely a more thin crust. Now remember, the only difference between the two is this has 1 tablespoon of baking powder, this does not. Without the baking powder, you can get a thin crust, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and you're gonna get a crust just like this. I have stuffed, got cheese everywhere. I have stuffed this one. I'm gonna try this one, then try that one, and see if I can tell a difference. Okay. That's delicious. It's just good pizza. That's just good pizza. Let me try this one. Okay, in the bite, there's of course less bread to bite through. You can definitely tell the difference. You can tell biting into this one, of course there's more dough. It's really soft. So good. Oh. Okay. And in this one, it's just thinner. Absolute same taste. So delicious. It tastes like pizza. It tastes like yeast, homemade pizza. I'm trying not to eat all of this right here, right now, because this is dinner for my family and I. This is so good. I cannot wait till they try it. I know my kids are gonna go crazy. Oh man, if you try this, please let me know what you think. This is so good. This is pizza. This is delicious, fantastic keto pizza. Remember, 7 net carbs if you're using the almond flour, and 2 net carbs if you're using the pecan. But this is so good. Also remember, whether you're using the almond flour version or the pecan version, it's gram for gram, same grams, no matter what. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you make this pizza. If you do, please let me know what you think about it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, join this channel, and you all have a blessed day.